Hey everybody, this is Dave coming to you from the Gaming Cave. Today we're going to start our playthrough of our Enemy Action Volume 1 Ardennes Battle of the Bulge. Game designed by John Butterfield and published through Compass Games. Okay, so we're doing the German solo, and as you can see, I'm going to use my camera that I can zoom back and forth here a little bit and see if I can give you some decent close-ups here. But I've got the map set up, and pull back a little bit. You can kind of see everything we got going on here a little bit. So all the setup is done. The cards have been pulled. I went ahead and started everything. And then this sheet right here, this nice colorful sheet I got off of Board Game Geek, and it's got all the German cores listed on it. And this is where I'm going to keep track of which cores have been activated for this impulse. And then to do that, I have a nice little bag of trusty beads, and we'll just place a bead on it with the tweezers to show that that one's been activated. That's how I'll do that, or the army if it's the army. Okay, so that's the way I'm going to mark that. I may use these also to keep track of some items on the board when we're trying to do things over there. So again, we have quite a bit going on here, and we'll be moving the camera around. It is a big map, but right now it's going to be concentrated here. Up in this area is the day calendar, and it tells you you know, any special actions and where all the reserves and all those things are at. And then on the setup, there was a special note for this unit here. If it'll zoom in, or maybe I can get it to focus. There we go. So this unit goes into the reserve unit right off the bat. And looking for, and then the we have special rules also for December 16th. The German hand starts with 9 cards instead of 6. After that, it's always 6. We must play with a tactical command value of 10 plus before triggering the Allied impulse, and may only be played to activate formation in this combat tactics. German units cannot move, although they can participate. They can, if they're doing a reinforced battle combat tactic, and also if it's advance after combat, they can make that movement. We do not draw command cards for Allied units under attack. This is all during the first impulse. And then after the first impulse, the German hand goes back down to 6. There's German traffic jams on December 16th for all impulses, so only one German unit may use a bridge. Another unit may cross it, but it's as is an unbridged river. Let's see, there is the Allied units do not blow bridges. Let's see, so there's slow Allied reaction. Allied non-mechanized units may only move 1 hex when moving during an activation. Exception is reinforce the battle combat tactic. And Allies do not blow bridges. The only thing their Allied engineers command event would do is a roadblock or an IP. Treat the Allied artillery combat tactic as no tactic, only the core artillery combat tactic on December 16th. Deploy only 1 reserve unit per each Allied deploy reserves command function, or to map by expedite reserves and reserve units, 9th armor, of the 8th Corps deployed by his Corps cards or the 18th Corps. Okay, so that's all the special rules. This is there's a ton of stuff that goes with this game, and thankfully our friends at Board Game Geek have developed things, but this is like a flip page. So it's printed out, and then on each side it's a sequence of play, and it's got a description of everything in there. So it's really handy. So I'm going to use that along with the sequence of play that comes with the game. So we have that also. So that's there. And then we also have the game's combat sequences, key rule summaries, terrain effect charts. So we have all these different things that are going to help us during the game. So I'm learning the game still, so I'll probably make some mistakes. I usually do, but we'll try to keep them to a minimum. I have it all set up to run the campaign. So the first thing we do on this very first turn is we get 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, and I draw these. Down here we have the supplemental, available supplemental cards, and then we have the supplemental discards, the primary discards, and the primary cards are in here, and this is our draw pile. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So I get to start with 9 cards. So let's see if we can lay these out here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Well, I'll move over this way, give you a better chance to kind of see what we got. But this is nice, this SS Panzer Corps. That's a big one, and he's got a battle right up there ready to go. And I'm sure I'm going to play that. That's 3 points. So on these cards, what you play is what you're counting towards the 10 points. This is the day of the month, the 16th of December that we're starting on. And then this is the points that it's worth. And then these are our cores. Now the thing I have to do still, be moving the camera around a little bit for this one. These units that are up here, they need to come down to the reserve units for the 16th. So they all get down here where they're available. So those are the units that are available now. Okay, so the first thing I got to do out of my hand is decide what I want to do first. And I think that I'm going to use this. I'm going to start right off the bat with the first SS Panzer Corps, and I'm going to activate that corps. And special ground freeze, that's on turn 23, so I have to work at that. I can deploy all corps reserves, which I don't have any. Assign 2 RPs to corps, that's starts on turn 20. Activate all units in the corps. So that's the one I'm going to do. So like I indicated before, up here, I'm going to put in this little marker that says I activated the first SS Corps. And then we're going to come down here on the map. This is the area that we're going to be working in right here. Let's see if I can get everything set up. So we're going to have this card. We're going to put it on the board here so I keep track of it. And then I'm looking to see if I want to give him anything else to go with him. I don't need to reinforce his battle because he's already set. No, here's the thing I'm looking at now, right? I got this card. I know I got a battle already set. You know, do I want to do the 46th, or I'm sorry, the 66th core right here. Back up here a little bit. Do I want to do this one and activate any one unit? Well, or activate all units in that core. So that's this core right here. They're engaged right here with this guy. And I could do a reinforce a battle with him, which allows me to bring other troops, other units down there to fight in that battle. I can do that's what I'm looking at when I'm down here looking at this is, you know, what do we want to what is it that we're after here that we want to try to accomplish here. I've got the 7th Army down here that I could work in also. So these are the things that you have to decide. This is what this game's about, right? It's how you manage your forces. I know that first SS. Question is, do I need them to do anything else right off the bat? And I think right from the beginning, I don't think there is. I think I just want them to concentrate, knock that guy out of there, and then be able to start moving up here. There's a fuel point right there that I'd like to get to. And then down in here, I want to get to these guys. And I actually have the 80th Corps that I can activate those units in the Corps. And I actually have reserves, deploy all Corps reserves if I want to with this card, which would give them a couple extra troops right there that are available, although I'm not sure I can do that on the 16th yet. I have to look. So yeah, so I got some decisions, but I think to start with, what I'm going to do is I'm going with the one that I originally said, the 1st Panzer Corps, and we're going to activate all units in the Corps. So I'm going to put this one up here, and there's no movement allowed, so I can't move anybody. So they're going to go in there, and I think what I'm going to do is I have him flanked. I can't move anybody, so I got to fight with the guys that are there unless I do reinforced battle. And I have one of those cards that I can play to reinforce the battle, and that allows me to move on a reinforce the battle. Right? So I'm just gonna, we'll double check that real quick. Yeah, exceptions reinforce the battle. So anybody that's available can move up into the battle. Stacking limit is 3 or 6 of the oh shoot, lost my term. I want to call them pips, but it's the strength of the unit. So like this Piper Brigade right here, the 1st SS, he's got, his strength is 3. So his is 2, so that would make him 5. I can only go to 6 in there. So if I bring him up, he's a very strong unit, but if I bring him up, then that's where, you know, he can't stack any higher than that. But I can reinforce. These guys have 2 units in there. He's already got 3. I can bring this armored up into there, and I can bring this scout up to here and let them all be part of this battle right here. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with. A trick I learned watching another YouTuber's video is how to keep track of your strength points and stuff. So the first thing we need to do is count ours. We have 2, 4, 6, 11, 13, 14, 17, 19, and their strength here is 3. So 19 to 3 is 6 to 1. So I can use a 10-sided die, and I can make that, show that as 6 to 1. Let's move over a little bit. I'll zoom in here a little bit so you can try to keep you where you can see, keep things here close where we can see what's going on. And that's my combat card that I'm using for this combat. And so this is where we've been moving at right here. Okay, 6 to 1. Now how many chits do I get? Well, it's a minimum 2 because he has 2 points, but I count my counters now. It's 3, 6, 8. So I start with 8. So we'll start with 8, and then we have to modify it from there. Okay, so let me see where my modifiers are, make sure I get everything. So I'll be right there. I'm going to get my player aid. Okay, so here on the player aid, it helps, but it tells you what you get. So I already got my number. I get +1 for my tactic. I get +1 if any of my units are elite. That's the ones with the red on them. So I have an elite attacking. +1 if 3 or 4 steps. I do not have that. The steps, that's what I was looking for. +1 if they're out of supply. They're not. +2 if they're isolated. Nope. And if they don't have a screen combat, and they don't get to pull a combat tactic on this first one. So I get +1 for my combat tactic and +1 for my elite. So I actually get 10 chits. Okay, I have all my chits here in the cup, 60 of them. And so we're going to pull the first 2 because that's the minimum. So here we go. First 2 chits are greater than 1 to 1, which we are. That side is less than 1 to 1. We're greater than 1 to 1. And attacker artillery, no. Defender artillery, no. Okay, so that one's not going to count, but that's 2 of my chits out of the 10. Now I have to declare how many chits do I want to use up to the limit of 10. I've already drawn 2 for this battle. I don't want to come up short on this, so I'm going to use the entire 10. So I got to draw 8 more chits. So let me draw them and then we'll put them out here on the table. Okay, so here's the chits I drew. And I'll tell you, out of 10, it didn't turn out very well. But I do want to tell you this. Normally, you set these aside. I'm going to put them in a separate cup here to store them. And then, so out of the 10, I had 5 that did not apply. They say things like defender artillery. Come on, focus up. There we go. Defender artillery or attacker artillery. I didn't have that. Allied air power or Panzer 5th Army or an allied attack. Okay, so now this blue is when you recycle all the used ones that you already had back into your cup, but I don't have any yet, so it's just going to go into my cup and wait to be recycled. So I had 5 that did not account for anything. Okay, I have, so these 5 we're going to get out of the way because they don't mean anything. They were no good to me, so to speak. Okay, so that leaves us D1 and a D-1. That offsets that. And a D-1 and a D-1 and D1. So I got 0 hits on them. With all that, I still didn't hit them. I got an A1 against me and an A-1. So the 1st SS Panzer Division got nothing. That's what that boils down to. So that was a bad start, I guess we'll say. So all these chits come off, and nobody took any hits. And now these go into my discards, supplemental discards right here. Okay, well, 1st SS Panzer Division has been deployed, and I spent 4 points right there. Okay, so I still got to spend 6. So I can do the 6th Panzer Army. Now the 6th Panzer Army, right here, is down here. This is the 6th Panzer Army. This is the 7th Army. Oh, I'm sorry, and the 6th is up here. So the only thing I got left in the 6th is this group right here. And I'm not ready for them to make any attacks. So that card's not going to do me any good. Not yet anyway. I can do, I can't move, that's the thing. These guys here, I can have, let's see, what did I say I played already, a 4? Man. Okay. Fifth Panzer Army. All right, let me figure out what we're going to do here next. Okay, next we're going to go with 5th Panzer Army, the 58th Panzer Corps, and we're going to activate all units in this corps. Okay, that is this corps right down here. Right here. So they have an infantry unit there, and I have an infantry unit and 3 elite armors all right there. And I'm going to use a combat infantry infiltration tactic, and I think I'm going to go ahead and call in, let's see, I can do a reinforce the battle, and that allows me to bring this unit up to here also. Okay, so I think that's that'll be 2, 4, 5, and I played 4. That's 9. I'm going to have to play one more card on the next one. Don't have an assault coordination if they were next to each other. We're still a little broken up here on our formation, so not quite where I want to be. Although I could go ahead and play this fixed artillery, and I think I'll do that also. And that'll give me my 10 command points for my first impulse. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have my 58th Panzer Corps, which is right here, which is this one right here that's going to be attacking. We have an infantry infiltration, which gives me flanking automatically. We have reinforced the battle, which I did, and we have the fixed artillery. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We have 3, 6, 10 12, that's 16 to 3. So that'll be 5 to 1. So we have 5 to 1 odds right there. And we have 3, 4, 5. And I played 3 tactics cards. That gives me 8. So I have 8 for my chip pull right here. And he is a 2-step unit, so I have a minimum of 2 to draw. Okay, so we're going to draw our first 2, and they are Attacker Artillery. I have that right here, and Defender Elite. No. Defender Green. No. So that one's not going to count. That leaves me 6 more to draw, which I'm going to do. So I'll draw these and lay them out. Alright, so this one went much better. This is the way it's supposed to be. Okay, these two, there's 8 altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These two did not have anything on them. Take them off the board. So that left me with 6. Attacker Artillery. And it's the prime priority, yes. Attacker Elite, yes. Attacker Artillery, yes. Attack Flank, yes. That's my enemy infiltration. They're in broken terrain, and I only had the combined arms, both infantry and armor, which is right there. But also these counters here actually are a combined arms counter. You have an armor symbol and an infantry symbol, which makes them a combined arms counter. Okay, so I scored 6 hits. That's what this die means. So I'm going to get these 4 cards out of the way. And that was 2, 4, 5, 7, along with the other 4. So I spent my 11 points. So we're going to end that. Okay. So the first hit takes off the improved position. So we take that off. Then he has to retreat. Okay. So there is a way that they retreat direction. Retreat priorities. So into a hex not in the enemy zone of control. So he can go into either of these hexes here, because they're not in zone of control. This is zone of control and this is zone of control. Into a hex occupied by a friendly unit supply in an enemy zone of control. I don't have that. Into an unoccupied hex in an enemy zone of control and friendly supply. No. Into an unoccupied hex in an enemy zone of control. Let's see. Into an occupied hex in an enemy zone of control, not in friendly supply, or into a hex in an enemy zone of control. Okay. Don't have any of those. This is a Allied Advance. So he follows his arrow, which is back across the bridge. That's 1. So that takes us. So we spent 1 hit getting rid of the improved position. Now we're down to 4. He repeats. He withdraws a second time, which is this way along the road. So that leaves us with 3 hits. Where are you? There you are. That leaves us with 3 hits. And now he only has a strength of 2 left on this unit. So that's 1, and that's 1. So we eliminated that American unit. The 112th Infantry Regiment of the 28th Division of the 8th Corps. So he's eliminated. Okay. Yay! So my units can now advance. Get all this off the board here. So my units can advance, and they're going to advance these three are going to advance here, and then one can go across the bridge if we choose, and I do. So he's going to cross the bridge. He'll be the first one across. And this armor unit or the infantry unit can move up. I'm going to leave the armor unit here and move this infantry unit to here. Okay. And that concludes that first German impulse. Okay, so according to the rules, again, the 2-hex advance depends on whether the bridge is bridge or not. I'm going to set this infantry back down here. All of these guys can come across. He went 1, 1, and 1 because the bridge is intact and they're followed the path of retreat. Now, because the enemy unit was eliminated, there is no other path of retreat, so now they're free to move wherever they want to move to. So he's going to move, let's see, these guys are part of the 5th Panzer Army. I don't want to have to come back across the silly river again. So let's see, they fought 1, that's 2, that's their move, and that allows both of these guys to move up to here. Okay, and this armor unit could move again, but he's not going to at this point. All right, so I wanted to make sure, went back and looked at that though, and that's in rule 13.81 and 8.2. So that's where that was at. So I wanted to clarify that just to make sure. Okay. Okay, so now we do the Allied impulse, and we pull the 5th Corps. Deploy all Corps reserves. So there's nobody for the 5th Corps in the reserves. That's German, assigned 2, that's not there. Activate all units in the Corps. So the 5th Corps, let's see what happens here. 5th Corps is up here. This is the 5th Corps, way up here at the top of the map. So activate all units in the Corps. So I believe now we have to draw 3 Allied action cards. Okay. So we're going to, we don't have anybody behind enemy lines, so don't have to worry about that. We draw 3 action cards and arrange in numerical order. So we draw 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so the Allied actions, you go by this, the number up here, put them in order. 2, 13, 18. So the first one, and these are the counter numbers, so I'll just show you as an example here on this counter. That number right here, 06, that's that counter's number, that unit's number. So this represents those, and you go from 27 down to 1 on all the 5th Corps. So I looked at all of them up here in the 5th Corps. Get my camera right here. So we looked at all those, and none of them are going to be proximate to an empty position to which a German unit is also proximate. So we don't have that case, so that card does not apply. Then we go to Germans exposed. A unit or stack proximate to German unit or stack with additional strength of 2 or less. We don't have that up there, so that one doesn't get used. Open supply line. A unit proximate to empty hex that, if occupied by that unit, would enable Allied units currently unable to trace supply. All my units can trace supply right now, so that one does not apply either. So that activation didn't do anything. So now we're back to the next impulse, which is the Germans. So we got 3 cards left over. So this time we only get 6 cards. So I draw the next 3, 1, 2, and 3. And we take a look at what we got. So, back this up. So the cards we drew are, these were the 3 we had. The first SS Panzer, which they were activated and they can't do anything. And the other unit that was activated was the 58th Corps in the 5th Army, so they can't do anything this round. So I've got them way over here. I've got my little beads onto those. Okay, so here we are. We have the first SS Panzer, which was activated last time, so they're not going to be able to do anything. So both of these are kind of, I can't, one of them I can do with the 6th Panzer Army next turn. I can do something, but this turn I can't, not able to do anything. And with the 7th Panzer Army here, and then the Allied command level, now the first turn it was 10, now it's 5, so I have to spend 5 turns. I have the 6th Panzer Army, which is up there also. And then I have the 6th Panzer Army with that 67th Corps, and then I have the 7th Army, which is down here now. Now troops can start moving a little bit. So this is that corps. So I can start making some maneuvers down here, and don't have anybody to deploy for them. So I can take this one, or I can take my primary, it doesn't matter. I can deploy, activate all units in this corps. This is the 85th Corps. And we can activate these units down here. That's these guys right here. And we can see what we can do here. I can maneuver this unit to here, and I can back him out 1 and back in here 3, and that would give us, now we're fighting across the river, so I have my attack strength 3, 6, 9, 14, that's 16, so that's 8 to 3, which is only 2 to 1, which are not very good odds. So I'm not going to attack at that point, not yet. So I played 2 points. I'll set that one there so I can keep track. And now I need to do, man, I need to do something, but it ain't looking real healthy. I can activate the 6th Panzer Army with the 67th Corps. I can do a special Vonderheit. I need to look that up and see what that is. Turn 16 or 17, I can activate the Vonderheit. I don't have any reserves to deploy, or I can activate all units. So let me look up this Vonderheit and see what that is. Okay, we're going to use the 6th Panzer Army, the 67th Corps, and we're going to activate all units in the Corps, which is only that Corps. That'll be up here. We're going to be way up here now. So let's come over this way, get you a little better angle. And what we're going to do is he's going to move out of zone of control. 1, 2, 3. And that sets us up for this combat right here. Okay. And we're going to play, I'm going to give him combat infantry infiltration right there. So we'll help him with, that gives him a flank attack. So we have 3, 7, 11 to 3. So we have 3 to 1 odds. These aren't great, but we're going to try them. 3 to 1. And I have 3 units. That's 3. And I played 1, so I have 4 for my chip pull. So I have 4 for my chip pull. He's a 2, so I pull a minimum of 2. Oh, now he gets a command tactic, because we're in the next impulse now. Oh, tank battalion. Oh, what does tank battalion mean to me? I know it's not good. Combat tactics. Tank battalion. Remove step from 1 German infantry unit alone in a hex without an IP nor in a town and adjacent to but not across a river from a supplied full strength allied unit. So I have to lose a step on one of these guys. So one of these guys is going to lose a step right there for that tank battalion. Okay. So let's see, for me, that'll give us 1 hit against me, and this red die will be for the US. Okay, all right, so we're going to pull 2 chits, and the first 2 are greater than 2 to 1, yes. Well, that's not too cool. And greater than 6 to 1, no. Combat engineers, no. So this one doesn't count. I'm going to pull my other 2 chits because I'm allowed 4. And this first one is a city. No, he's in a town. Forest woods are broken. He's in the forest. Well, crap. That helped him. Only attacker armor, no. Only defender armor, no. Only defender armor. We're going to see what type of unit is this. It's a vehicle. I gotta look that up and see if they consider this a armored unit or not. It's cavalry, it's mobile. Let me check on that. So the answer to that is no, it's a recon unit, not an armor unit. Okay. All right, so I took one hit. That one doesn't count. Only defender armor, no. Only attacker armor, no. That one doesn't count. So D, he loses one. I lost one. So I actually lose two up here. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? These two units here are +1, so I get 2 more chits. Got to do it right. I get 2 more chits because their strength is 3 or 4. So that moved me up to 6. So the other 2 chits are greater than 2 to 1, yes. And greater than 8 to 1, no. Less than 3 to 1, bad, against me. Okay, so he takes 1 hit. And I take 2 hits. 1, 2. Wait a minute, that says less than 3 to 1. It's greater than 3. Greater than 8 to 1. Less than 3 to 1. No, that one didn't count. Okay. Whew, I'll get it right. I took 1 hit. He took 1 hit. And I took 1 hit. Plus I had 1 hit from the tank deal. Okay, he takes 1 hit. So 1 hit on him, he's in a town, so the town absorbs that hit. Okay, I have to take 2 hits. So this green unit is a 4, he's going to flip to a 3. And this one's a 4 and flips to a 3, so they're both still green. And now they're down to that. Okay. And that's the end of that impulse. All right, now we do the allied impulse. No command, event engineers, 16 to 20. Okay. So event engineers. Play during the supply phase or during your impulse repair. Those are bridge engineers for me. Events. Engineers. Conduct one of the following in priority order. Replace a roadblock in a VP hex or in an allied supply with an allied reserve. Place a roadblock marker in an... Okay, let me go through this. Okay, so the engineer card that we pulled is for roadblock, and we needed a roadblock in a hold value greater than or equal to 3 within 2 hexes of supplied German unit in allied and German communications and not adjacent to an allied unit. So I actually had one right here. This one here, not adjacent to an allied unit, 2 hexes from the Germans. They have communication to it now. So do the allies. So we put the roadblock in there. Okay. That completes the impulse for the allies. So now we're ready to go to the next German impulse. This time, these 2 cores here are the inactives. For the next impulse, the 1st SS is available again, and the 58th Corps is available again in the 5th Army. Okay. So I think going to charge my batteries up, and we'll take a break here. I know it's slow going. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. Like I said, I'm kind of learning to play this while we go along. Nothing like jumping into it, and this really helps me learn the rules as I go. So please provide feedback if you see me screwing something up. I probably have. Hopefully not. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to double check the rules as I go. So you can let me know though if you see something, and we'll take a break here. This is part 1 of the December 16th, and then we'll come back for part 2, and we'll keep going. I know it's a little slow and tedious here, at least it feels like it is for me, but this is part of learning it, and I'm starting to get a feel for the flow of it now. So the more I play, the better it'll go, and then we'll kind of get a little smoother here as we start working things and making sure I'm playing it right. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And if you like what we're doing, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you for part 2. All right, thanks everybody.